Would you like to grow bigger succulents from just a single leaf, like this one right here? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it and share with you some super simple tips that have helped me along the way. Plus, I'll let you in on a little secret. Did you know there's an easy way to tell which succulents can be propagated from leaves without even knowing their names or what family they belong to? It surprised me too when I first realized it, but once you learn it, you'll start noticing it every time. It's honestly such a game changer if you love growing succulents from leaves. Have you seen those succulents that are so delicate, such the slightest touch and their leaves fall right off the stem? Well, guess what? Those are some of the best candidates for leaf propagation. They're actually the fastest to grow from leaves. Then, there are succulents that with just a quick twist and turn can snap off from the stem. Those ones are also perfect for leaf propagation. If you are playing tug of war with your succulents, if the leaf won't snap no matter how many times you twist and turn, then it's a sign that it's not really a good candidate and it's better propagated in a different way. There are two things that are common among those leaf propagation champions that you need to keep in mind. First, they have chunky leaves. And second, they snap easily from the stem. Their chunky leaves store moisture, which helps them survive while they form new roots and start growing into full plants. That moisture is like their little survival kit, giving them the energy they need to grow strong and healthy. And separating easily from the stem ensures intact meristem. You want to make sure that the base of the leaf, the part that was attached to the stem, is still intact because that's the part where all the magic happens. That little spot at the base is where new roots and new baby succulents will grow. You don't worry if the leaf has a little scar, a bite mark, or even a tiny bruise somewhere else. That's totally fine. What really matters is that the very tip where it broke off from the stem came off clean without being torn or damaged. And to grow bigger succulents like this one, you've got to start with bigger leaves. It might sound simple, but it really makes a difference. Succulents that naturally have large chunky leaves, like this Cryptophyria, is a great one to start with. Now, when it comes to choosing the right leaf for propagation, there are 3 more things that can really boost your chances of success. First, go for the mature leaves. These are the leaves that have been on the plant for a while. They're usually closer to the base of the rosette or the stem, and they tend to be a little bigger and thicker than the younger ones up top. And why choose the mature ones? Well, because they're fully developed and more stable. They've had time to store up energy and moisture, which gives your future baby succulent a strongest start. Young leaves are still growing themselves. They're not always ready to take on the task of growing a whole new plant. And here's another helpful tip. Choose plump, healthy-looking leaves. You want the leaf to feel firm to touch, not wrinkled or shriveled. If the leaf looks dry, soft, or dehydrated, it might not have enough moisture stored inside to support new growth. Remember, once the leaf is separated from the mother plant, it's completely on its own. It needs enough internal water and nutrients to survive while it starts to root and grow. So, the ideal leaf is matured, plump, and has clean break at the base. Take your time when selecting. This simple step can make all the difference. After you've carefully removed your succulent leaf, you'll need to give it some time to rest and heal. This step is really important, and it's one that a lot of beginners accidentally skip. Here's why it is important. The part of the leaf that was attached to the stem is now an open wound. If you try to plant it right away, that raw end can absorb too much moisture too quickly, and that can cause the cells to break down, leading to rot. What you want to do instead is allow that end to callus over, kind of like how a scab forms on a wound. It creates a natural seal, protecting the leaf while still allowing it to begin the process of sending out roots. To do this, simply place the leaf on a tray. Not in soil just yet. Just let it lay flat on a clean dry surface like a tray, a paper towel, or even a shallow dish. Let it sit for a few days, usually between 2 to 5 days, depending on how warm and dry your environment is. You'll know it's ready when the tip looks dry and slightly hardened. One more thing to keep in mind. While it's healing, avoid placing the leaf in strong direct sunlight. Those tender, exposed cells are still very sensitive, and too much sun can actually burn the leaf before it even has the chance to grow. Instead, keep it in a bright area with indirect sunlight. A windowsill with filtered light or a spot with gentle natural brightness is perfect. It might seem like a small step, but this short healing period can make a big difference. It's the foundation for everything that comes next: rooting, sprouting, and growing a whole new plant from just one leaf. Now, here comes one of the most exciting parts of leaf propagation: watching for those first little signs of new life. You'll begin to notice that the end of the leaf, the part that was once attached to the stem, starts to look a little different. It may turn a soft pink or reddish color and begin to look slightly swollen or puffy, almost like it's getting ready to pop. As soon as you notice the change, you're ready for the next step. Gently place the leaf on top of a shallow layer of soil. You don't need to bury it, just lay it flat with a calloused end resting on the surface. That's where the roots will grow down and where the baby will start to reach upward the light. Keep them in a spot with bright, indirect light. This helps the new roots and growth develop without overwhelming the delicate leaf. Avoid harsh midday sun, which can dry the leaf out too fast or even cause sunburn. With not enough light, the baby succulents can also stretch out, which is not a very good start. You need to keep them compact. And to make them grow bigger faster, keep the soil moist. You can actually water them every day during this early stage and they won't get overwatered. You see, when succulents are still young and just starting out from a leaf, their roots are very shallow. They haven't developed deep, thick roots yet, so they rely on the top layer of the soil, which can dry out fast in a well-ventilated area. So as long as you're planting them in a container with good drainage, and that means actual holes at the bottom so water can escape, you're not going to run into problems. What you don't want is soil that stays soggy or overlogged. That's when root rot can sneak in. But if the water can drain out and the soil is light and airy, then watering daily is totally fine during this stage. So really, the secret recipe to growing a bigger succulent from a single leaf looks like this. Start with a big, chunky, healthy leaf. Let it callus, then place on top of well-draining soil. Water daily to keep the top layer moist. Use containers with drainage holes. Give it bright, indirect light. And be patient because growth is happening even if you can't see it right away. So if you've ever wondered why your baby succulents were growing slowly or staying small, this might be the missing piece. Shallow roots love gentle moisture. Don't be afraid to water more often in the beginning. Just do it smartly. And have you noticed? Some baby succulents have already grown pretty big, but the mother leaf is still plump. It's because once they develop roots, they'll start pulling moisture from the soil instead of relying on the mother leaf. So the more reason to give them water. And because you stayed with me all the way to the end, I've got one more special tip to share with you. This is something I learned through the trial and error over time. In the beginning, when I was growing succulents from leaf propagation, I used to stage them together in small containers, grouping lots of tiny babies into one pot. They look pretty and cute. But if your goal is to grow bigger, healthier succulents, don't overcrowd them. When you plant several baby succulents in the same pot, they end up competing for space, for water, and for nutrients. They start bumping into each other, and that can slow everything down. So instead, once they've grown roots and you start to see those tiny rosettes forming about a thumb size, give each little plant its own space. Transfer them into individual pots. Something small is fine to start, but with enough room for roots to spread out. This gives the baby succulent the freedom to grow without stress, without fighting for sunlight or stretching because it's cramped. And just like us, when they have the space to breathe and grow, they thrive. Thanks again for spending this time with me. I hope these tips help you grow not just one more succulents, but bigger, stronger, and happier ones too. Please don't forget to subscribe. Take care, everyone.